Okay, so now we will see the parameterization from TestNG XML file. So in the last lectures we have seen how to parameterize with the data provider annotation, right? So now let's do with the file, TestNG XML file. Uh, yeah, packages. Okay, I'll create one more, or wait, control A. I'll replace one of it here. Fine. Parameter dot XML. Okay, there is some error with this, or okay, let me remove these methods. Right. So now for this test, I can define a values which I can parameter them into my uh, this complete class anywhere. Okay, annotations might have multiple test cases, but I can parameterize them by providing the values here. So let's see how. It's very simple. Parameter name equals to user ID, let's assume that, and value equals to A, B, C, D. Okay, so close the parameter. That's it. Okay, so P is the caps small. Fine. So now you have defined a parameter called user ID in which ABCD is value into it. Okay, this might be a global variable, and this, if you feel that this parameter is applicable and entire the class, so annotation might have multiple test cases, and if all the test cases have the same common user ID, maybe the admin user ID will be common everywhere, right? Just I'm simulating real-time situation here. So there might be admin user ID, and value of that user ID is this. Okay, so now let's pass this admin user ID value ABCD. I mean, basically we need to pass ABCD, and we assign to the variable called admin user ID. Let's pass this into our annotation testng file dot annotations, that is here. Okay, so after you reach here at the rate test, where it is, yeah, so here, okay, one second, yeah, so you have to say parameters, another annotation, parameters, and open the flower braces, give out the user ID which you have passed, this one, admin user ID, so that, okay, pass it here, close the flower braces, fine, and you need to import the annotation, import parameters testng. Okay, gone. So by writing this step, whenever script start execution and when it finds parameters, then it assumes that there is somewhere in testng XML file you will find admin user ID variable, and I need to grab the value. That means I need to grab the value of this into my file. That's how it interprets whenever you provide this at the rate parameters annotation, and whatever the variable name you provide here, it will tally it by cross checking from the XML file and pull out the value from here, and it places into your test case anywhere wherever you require. Okay, but in the same style as I told you for data provider class, if it expects one parameter to pass into it, then at the same time you need to define that parameter inside user ID, right? basically user ID is coming. So one parameter when it reaches here, and flight booking also should be defined with one parameter. Okay, these match count should match. If there are totally 3 parameters defined as the arguments for flight booking, there should be 3 parameters for parameters annotation also. Okay, if this count doesn't match, script will throw an error. Okay, so now this variable will fall, and the value of that variable will come and fall into this string. Fine. Now whenever you say system.println user id, and okay, this might be a little confusing, but download my code, dump it to your Eclipse and cross verify and just go through step by step, you will get a clear idea. Now when you print this, output will be ABCD. Okay, so I'll tell you once again. I have declared here in the global variable for the entire class, saying that this is my parameter and value for it is ABCD. Okay, and name of the variable is admin user id. Now in this TestNG files dot annotations, I went to one of the test case and I have given parameters annotation. So whenever I give this, TestNG will come to conclusion that I have to get this parameter from XML file. Okay, it goes to that XML file and pull out the value of this. So as there is only one argument into it, even test method also expects one argument, so that the value of it will be passed into it. And now when you print this, ABCD will be printed in the output. ABCD executing test1, that will be your output. Okay, so let's see. Should I comment this? Not required. Let's run this and see. Let's save the test case. But you have to run it from here. If you run the single file, you won't see that output, because you have declared parameter here on XML level. So if you want to reflect that value into it, you have to run it from XML level. Then only it picks that ABCD and puts into that. If you run just single file there is no connection, right, between this and that. How can it come to this and check? You have to run it from parameters level, and somewhere I will show you ABCD in the output. Okay, let's see now. Okay, there are total 3 tests. Yeah, see that ABCD executing test1. Okay, so the value what you have provided in XML got printed in the output for the test case. Okay, so this is one of the way how can you parameterize the things. Okay, from the TestNG there are totally 2 ways. One is data provider, the annotation with which you can provide the complete data and parameterize for multiple test cases. Or if you have any global parameters like admin user id, environment URLs, configuration, okay, you can provide that in a global level, which will be applicable to entire class, and use it for any class just by providing parameter annotation. It will be printed there. Okay, so these are very essential in a framework development. Okay, that's all these we will use in constructing a robust framework. Okay, so that's about TestNG parameterization.